We don't always follow convention, because the future of banking is not just about numbers. At CIMB, people come first. It's where differences are celebrated. A place where individual passions become assets that shape the way forward. Your strengths and our experience will make you the leader you envision to be. Go beyond boundaries and reach your full potential. For the game changers, disruptors, the digital daredevils, we're calling out to you. Just as the future calls out for the next generation. Start a career revolution. Together, we'll go further. With your talent, unleashed by our vision. We're future ready.
is the research
Okay,
and development
we're
kan?
on right now. Cuk, babe. Good morning and welcome back to the Pocket Talks. My name is Adi from Voices Malaysia, and as you know, Voices Malaysia together with Malaysia Research and Education Foundation have been running a series of Pocket Talks running up to our virtual event called Research and Education Insight 2021, or REdI 2021 for short, happening next month, 11th and 12th of Jan. These Pocket Talks concentrate mainly from industry's point of views, and today is slightly special because that's why we're calling it a special series. Working for, what most people working for a corporate organization may not be what you want, right? So some of you have already ideas on what you'd like to do when you graduate. So today we'll be looking into what I term as the scariest industry, and that's working for yourself, right? Can your ideas be turned into something that is viable and money-making? Wondering where to get your startup funds for your company or your new company? Did you know? Okay, this is a fact. Did you know that in Malaysia, there are a lot of startups, but we do not have a unicorn? Google that. Let's hope by the end of this talk, you could be on your way building Malaysia's very first unicorn. And before we go into our talk, a friendly reminder to take part in all these Pocket Talks and the virtual event. Do remember to register by logging into myref.org.my or Voices Malaysia. Pocket Talks and the virtual event is free and open to all, especially for students and working professionals. All you need to do is just register. And since it's free to all, we welcome contributions and sponsorships. Just go to MyRef's website at www.myref.org.my or Voices Malaysia at Voice for more details. Okay, right. As mentioned, I'm not going to waste any more time. This is our special series, and we're looking into starting your own tech business. And here with us, we have Puan Fayza Mohamed Amin, an independent board member from Cradle Fund Sdn Berhad. Good morning. Hang on. Good morning. Sorry, I tak switch on the mic tadi.
Oh, okay, it's on.
Okay, yes, a bit of a background. Faiz and I, we go way back, all right? So anyway.
Everybody knows my age.
No, they don't know my age, so we're young. We're forever young. So anyway, thank you very much, Faiz, for making the time to be with us here today. Before we go on, I want to share a bit about your professional background, okay? Not personal. Personal is just for you and I.
Okay.
Okay. For all that's on right now, Puan Faiza is a good example of what you learn in uni may not be what you do in life. Okay, she was a political science student who kicked off her career in journalism. All right. Then she pivoted into technology, which she has stayed until today, inshallah. With more than 20 years of a corporate experience, she was one of the pioneering team in building the internet in Malaysia. Okay, that I didn't know. I had to Google that one, okay? She is also the lead development of the first national public cloud. You know, when we talked about I think about a year ago when we were talking about IR 4.0, right? I never realized that you were part of it. Before we go on, yeah, okay. Anyway, before we'll talk about the technopreneurship, right? That's what we're talking about today. I'm curious about the kind of impact C19 has on our current digitalization. You see, like more than a year back, the government were extensively promoting digitalization and the IR 4.0 kan. But I felt majority were too slow on the uptake, you know. But with the C19, we kind of had no choice. You know, we were like dropped into the deep end of it. So do you think it's like a silver lining for Malaysia to really move into this industry because of the C19?
Okay. Well, I have to categorically respond to that as a yes.
Okay.
But the long version of it is, actually Malaysia is not slow in strategizing and thinking about it.
Okay.
We were one of the pioneer countries within the Southeast Asian region that actually started to talk about it almost the same time as Singapore.
Okay.
However, I think it's always about the economic benefits versus the need for you to survive because of a push of a certain quote unquote trend.
Okay.
So at that time, everybody saw industry IR 4.0, Industrial Revolution 4.0 was more of a trend that they thought that they could withstand as much as they can because it came in the middle of an investment period. So I come from the corporate world, right, Adi?
Yeah.
I think 20 years of experience. I grew up pretty much with a government-linked company.
Yes.
From Time Telecom and then Telecom Malaysia and then UMW. These are all government-linked companies. So when we invest for technology, when we invest for anything, actually, we invest huge, right?
Yep.
And the investment period is usually it's 3 plus 2, 5 years. But depending on the economic situation, like in 1997, we had the currency crisis, the forex crisis. So whatever we invested for 5 years, we extended further. So when IR 4.0 came about, most of the corporations, the biggest banks in Malaysia, the biggest telcos even in Malaysia, and also the industrialists, conglomerates,
Yep.
they were in the mid of sweating out what they have invested, right? They invested, let's say, for them, if you remember, we had the year 2000 where everything, the system changed.
Yes.
And then we had again in year 2010, it pivoted again where internet was very, very ubiquitous. Everything was interconnected.
Correct.
And then between 2010 to 2015, people started to invest in cloud, and it's not a small investment. You basically had example, right? If you're a bank, you would have either leased or even built your own premise where you have like a whole building full of servers. You basically have to pretty much phase it out, and you invest in subscribing to a cloud. So everybody was in the midst of doing that very soon. Then, IoT came about.
Right.
When they start to, the push was for the machines to be able to have a community by itself. It's like a server talking to the aircon, talking to the genset. It's a community of machines talking to itself. And the best part was this community of, I call it robotic equipments, communicates also to human, to us. So that was a push for the start of Industry Revolution 4.0, IR 4.0. And this huge corporation had just invested for cloud. They had to spread it out. They just didn't have a choice. Some of them did, move into IR 4.0 because IR 4.0 has a lot of components. So they thought, they could pick and choose because a lot of decision makers in the corporations are very, very inclined to financial and business knowledge. Or else, the techies like me, who sits also in the C-level, would pretty much become the minority. So what we have to do was we had to educate. If like my position in UMW, I was a CEO. I had to educate my board. Right. When I was in TM, I had to educate my management about it. So that education was happening. Then, bam, we had the living dead happening in our own home, in our own town, right?
Okay.
Everything closed.
Yeah.
Then they realized, hey, look, we can't be physical in a place where we have our assets. Satu lagi lah, Malaysians, even kalau tak Malaysian pun Asian generally, right? We like to have that currency of trust. Trust as a currency is very, very rare.
Yes.
They're susah, to believe. So what they do is like, okay, if I invest $100 million for technology, I want to see that technology. It's not about I want to feel that, I want to see. So this is why the delay in the adoption of IR 4.0 in a full scale. Yeah, and everybody had to pretty much, in US, you've been in the States, right? Kita jalan kat highway tu, tiba-tiba kita jalan, ada rusa tiba-tiba tu keluar. Tiba-tiba semua orang jadi macam rusa tu keluar. Everybody had to cross the road and survive. So this is what happened.
What's happening right now, lah?
Yeah, I hope that's clear.
The rooster got caught in the headlights, that kind of thing.
Yes,
But I think we just because we have been pushed into the deep end, because I know we've been going into this dah lama kan. I've heard about it. Like you said, IoT semua. I'm into that. I love that. The one that you go back home and you go like, okay, so and so, Google switch on my lights, that kind of thing. I love that, I must say. But having said that, it is also an industry that is basically very new here in Malaysia. Okay, I know we have students that's leaving, or even the working professionals right now. They have an idea of what to do, but they don't know how to go around it. Okay, or the help that they need. Like like the introduction I was saying. I found out that in Malaysia itself, by default, kita tak ada unicorn. It's sad. It's sad. So in that sense, where you are right now as the board member of Cradle Fund, which a VC, right? You guys are VCs also. How do you see, or how do you help them? And also, another question. Alang. And also, and alang, because like you said just now, most Asian, they like to see it and touch it. Yeah, nothing. That's why we had problems. Remember before in selling airtime. Yeah. So the same thing. That one from those days sampai sekarang is still the same. So do you see that changing soon? Or do we need to change the old guards?
Okay. Let me
the first one.
The first one, where how would graduates, tak kisahlah, first degree, master's degree, PhD, how do they actually become relevant in this new world that is forming right in front of our eyes, with us not having a say in it, right? Because it's just a pandemic. So honestly, there is no hard and fast rule. Actually, there's no rule at all. So that's the real world today. Anybody can be anything they want to be. Either it's real or it's unreal. So I'll kupaskan kenapa real, unreal. As somebody who actually you may study politics like me, or you may study business or even chemistry, but if you have no inclination and realization that actually all our life right now is actually very, very dependent on technology, then that is a start in a wrong foot, because the minute you step into whichever world you choose, right, either the corporate world like me, it's a safe world, quote unquote, or an entrepreneur world, you're going to get caught. Oh gosh, I don't have that basic. So because there's no hard and fast rule, there's only one way for you to survive, which is you've got to be very, very creative. Last time, creativity was an option. Our faculty used to say, okay, we get it. Some of you are very, very creative. Yeah, you give us answers that we never thought of. And some of you are not creative. You just, go and quote back whatever the book tells you.
Right.
Right now, we cannot have that second part. We only can have one part. Why? Because with whatever you have, you need to actually, if you're an entrepreneur, the interest is for you to jump into a business that you build on your own.
Right.
You need to have that basic of creativity to take what you have, which is what you have as a student is more or less knowledge. The latest trend that some of us in the corporate world might be a bit far off. And then you use it, you swing it, and then you actually turn it into business using the simplest technology but the most powerful. So ni bukan zaman when we were young. Everything we have to do, we have to build on our own. We want to sell things online. We got to basically build the network layer, the transport layer, the internet layer and all that. Tak payah. Sekarang you go to any online platform and then you just launch the business and you actually run the business. So what makes you and the guy next to you different? It's how you understand the market.
Okay.
The market that we're going to go into, you need to understand that. So a lot of entrepreneurs that I've dealt with, in UMW, I was not just a corporate world. So my VC experience started way before, even when I was in Telecom Malaysia.
Yep.
We started programs for VC for young students to actually take funds from Telecom Malaysia and build something. Those days, build something technology. Then when I went into UMW, I became a full-scale venture capital, but I don't deal with students. I deal with Silicon Valley, Washington, Virginia, cybersecurity network and all that. So whatever it is that you do, differentiation is very important. And not all of us are born to be a tech geek where you build technology. But it should not stop anybody to leverage on this tech geeks platform, build a business model, put on it, and then understand what is out there for you to actually go after. Now, most of the startups, especially startups, rather than businesses that I call startups seed ventures, right? You baru nak ada konsep, you nak start, you kena start sikit. Yang kalau series B, C, D tu, you dah ada customer and all that. So yang startup kat sini ni, they are always very, very they romanticize their ambition. Yeah. Until they fall in love with their own ideas so much that even if it is very, very good in the market, kalau you have that luck, that you found lepas tu market pick up, then they started to be very, very possessive. They're not willing to let go. And investment becomes very difficult. So when investment becomes very difficult, what happens? Your capacity is 1%. You can never grow on your own. You either need to take a loan, which is very, very stringent, or you work with a VC. You pitch, you sell the idea to the VC, you promise them that, you will do two things, take care of your market, and also take care of the team behind you to make sure that this is sustainable. Whether 1 + 1 = 2. Right. And then you negotiate with the VC for you to let go some of what you've built. Letting go is key in startups, in entrepreneur. Tapi jangan pula, you buat business, before anything else, you decide, okay, kalau dah start sikit je, I'm going to sell. Lepas tu dia dah romantic kan, dia punya benda tu, dia fell in love. Won't sell for billion. It doesn't work like that. Yep. Reality needs to hit your head and say that, no, I got to build it with my heart, my soul, my tears, my blood. Once I truly believe it's working, it's going to work, then I talk to a VC. So people like me, we are vultures, right? We look at you, we know whether you build this just to sell and then run, or you build this because it's your passion. And usually we go for the latter, the one who built with passion. Okay. And who believes that they can change the world, they can make a difference to the world. So a lot of startups must have that in mind. Why should I be in a market when it's so full of whatever that I want to do? If I don't make any difference, then there's no way for me to be successful. Right. So that's the first part of the question. Okay. On the second question, it's about whether we should change the people who's running the show right now, or
it's how they approach.
So to me, it's very simple. The young guards will be old guards in the future. True. The old guards, even if they go, we're going to be the next generation. Yes, we do have to change. I think a mix is good, but it is also the responsibility of the technologists, the people who understand technology, to say it in a language that people understand. Not to say it in language that they love and they understand themselves. So when I first started, although I was a journalist, I was always a techie. The first board I presented to in Telecom Malaysia, I was so proud of things that I know and nobody knows, right? It's about the internet technology. We talk about, ATM, we talk about the 7 layers. And I explained everything exactly like how I like to hear it, how I understand it. And what happens is I alienated everybody around me. Nobody understood what I was talking about. Because they don't understand, they do not get interested. Because they do not get interested, I did not get their attention. Right. And it was a lot of, tears and blood, trying to make them understand, we have to do this for the business to sustain. So as I grow older, I realized that, okay, look, the best thing that I could do to the technology that I believe will change the world, will make everybody better, is to tell the story in a way that everybody relates to, in a way that everybody understands. How would this technology that I know all the paling susah punya nama yang canggih-canggih, kalau I go stand in Silicon Valley punya TED Talk again, people would love me, but in the board member,
They won't
would
understand
tend to, buzz off. How do I change that into language that actually this technology impact the board member themselves?
Right.
How it actually touched their own life, their family, their friends, their business. Then it relates. And, coming from a community of technologists, I know we are lacking in that. Daripada yang muda sampai yang hardcore techie.
Right.
So, I think it is a responsibility for both. Now, one side dah move tengah ni. But the other side yang tak faham teknologi but understand technology make or break their life must also come to the tengah and must also make the effort to understand. And I think because of COVID-19, everybody has no choice. Everybody has to go in and play. Kalau tak play, then you die. So they were inching towards the middle, whether they like it or not.
Right.
And I think it's going to be a different. And I know everybody's going to baling batu to me, but it's going to be a better world. Honestly speaking, it's going to be a better world because everybody now seems to have empathy, for harm, what's needed to be done. I hope that answers your question.
It answers the question because, as you know, when back when you and I were working under the same roof, we had an engineer for a boss. Remember?
Yes.
So the way he explains things were in boxes and diagrams, and us being me, for sure, being the creative side, we're like, okay. Totally understand that. Yes, but it's still prevalent right now. I mean, nothing against all the technologists and the engineers who's on meeting right now. No offense. But that's how I understand. Yeah, that's how I understand that they communicate. And I agree with you. They need to actually be a bit more creative. Storytelling. Yeah. That would be...
Very dry subject.
Yeah, it is a dry subject, but it's interesting, because if I can go into someone that is not technology-based or a technologist or an engineer-based, go into IoTs, surface sahaja lah. It can be for everyone, right? So,
technology now is about business model. Of course, the hardcore techie like me who build boxes and networks and all that, we still remain because if there's no group like this, then nothing is built. Nobody can sit on top of it. But honestly speaking, technology now, everybody's a technologist already because now this is my personal definition of someone who understands technology. It's not like before. Someone who understands technology is someone who understands how to use technology for their own well-being.
Right.
So that's the best.
Yeah, because I do see in the media right now there are a lot of people who back end people they're doing a lot, Malaysians actually, they're doing a lot of things. So for students or working professionals who are in that era or in that situation, I'm going back to the fact that how would Cradle Fund actually fund them or help them along,
Okay. Cradle Fund is just one of government's initiatives, government's arm that actually was created to spur innovativeness within our community, within our population. There's a lot more other avenues other than Cradle.
Yes.
Okay, I have to say that first. Because even Cradle, I think, sitting at the board, I always advise the CEO and the management to always be on the lookout for potential collaboration with other VCs, venture capitals or other agencies that will ensure the objective of Cradle is fulfilled. So Cradle is just one of them. There's also, VCs, the smaller VCs that is very interested in investing in students who just started up a business. There's also, direct ministry funding.
Yep.
Example, I think SME Corporation also have their own version of VC. So let me clarify that. Cradle is just one of them. And it is because each VCs has their own thesis, their own objective of investment. So it depends on what is it that you have in your hand. Then you have to decide which funding agencies would be right for you. So that's fine.
Right.
So how would someone that actually is fresh out of uni do it? I mean, do it like how Mark Zuckerberg do it. Do it like how the rest of them do it, which is with a lot of guts. You have to have guts. Two, ability to communicate your ideas well. Three, real idea, don't bullshit, because we can smell it from far away, right? So these are the three that you need to have, right? And all this can only come with knowledge. So, because I think most of the audience here are students, right, Adi? Am I correct?
Yes, some of them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So students usually when they come out, they start up a business. So this is what we call startup. So for startup, you have two ways. You can have the concept, from conceptualization all the way until you actually launch it as a business. Then you look for investment, or they can also at the concept level look for funding. So let me pecahkan sikit. So hopefully it helps, right? So those who has technical innovation. So this is not a business model, right? It's a technical innovation. You can juga kalau business model, but it has to be really, really out of this world, right? So technical innovation, kalau you ada, you can at the concept level go for grant.
Okay.
And Cradle provides grant. What you need to do in addition to that is look for agencies in Malaysia, in Singapore, anywhere in the world who would love to give you grant. So this is at the concept level. Now, those of you who wants to do it in a way that, okay, at the concept level, I tak nak grant, I'm okay, I've built it with my friends in the faculty, then it's ready, I want to launch it as a business, then it becomes a startup.
Okay.
So at startup, you got to look for VCs that do seed ventures. Seed ni, maksudnya, you belum ada apa-apa. You baru ada 2-3 orang, you baru ada business you nak launch, you baru siap produk tu, prototype perhaps, untuk you tunjukkan that it is doable. Then you go for that kind of funding. Now, seed dengan grant ni dia punya approach to the investors or to people who provide grant lain sikit. You need to have the white papers and all the proper technical structure of how it works, then you get that grant. At the seed level, you need to understand one, how your technology impacts your business. Two, exactly what would you do once you have the money. Okay. Because that's where everybody feels, right? How do you actually put it out? And number three, very important, who would actually be your target? The market is so huge, but you need to know who's your target.
But
so
sorry, but these are all should be done way before you go and look for the money, right?
Before you approach
anyone
like me, you would be ready with your prototype and all that at the seed level, and then you got a pitch to me, and you remember it's going to be 1,000 people behind you wanting the same.
Exactly, and then you guys will be asking those hot seat questions like, okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? Because you need to know where your investment going, right?
Yeah, for people like me, it's a bit beyond what you're going to do and all that. Usually, we would have the profile earlier. We do our own due diligence. By the time you come in, I would actually size you up, whether you fit to be a leader of an organization that you're gonna hit.
So way before you even look at the paper, you look at the person first.
Wow. Because at the seed level, the whole business hinges on the people,
Right.
on a person that comes up. If I have a founder, right, nama dia, let's say Abu.
Uh-huh.
Abu is a damn smart guy, a genius that can build blah 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 blah, and then come and want to do this, and I know it's going to take off, but I know he cannot handle it. Yet I know he's not willing to give away the title of the founder and CEO. I will not invest because it's going to be disastrous no matter how good it is. And guess what? If he can do it, if I actually forgo because I know I don't have confidence of the person, I know another 10 or 15 later akan ada orang, person later akan ada orang yang buat benda yang sama. Because ideas are never fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kalau you ingat the founder of Google, he is not a business person.
No.
He at the end step aside and then he let business people run his business.
That's the hardest thing actually for a founder.
Yes.
To
let go.
Yes, to let go.
So all of professional VCs will actually, I and my group of VC people will look at that. How strong are you? If you are down, can you get up again? If you are down and you're out, that means my business is going to go down. Because sebenarnya, at the seed level, I tak ada pun barang tu. Barang tu is just prototype. I only have you.
Right.
If you sick,
if
you're down, my business is gone.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah. So that is at the seed level. Then, once the business is up, it's running, you start a smaller market, then you go for Series A, B and C. Usually, lepas itu you dah look for IPO or exit lah, somebody to buy you off. So for students wanting to go into entrepreneurship, those who come from a family of entrepreneurs, maksudnya kedai jual kapet ke kain, they know how to do business, my suggestion to them is learn from your father, but be very sure that you understand the requirements of the market today. It's different. You still have to play with funding because that's the only way for you to grow. Kalau you ada duit pun, you still need funding. Why? Because the duit that you ada, you need to sometimes put it as your security to ensure that the invention continues, right?
Survival of the...
So, yeah. So, it is good for students. Tak kira lah at the first degree level or beyond that. If they believe truly that they want to be an entrepreneur, as I said, you sematkan your hati. First thing is, I need to make the world a better place. What is it that you bring that makes the world better? Itu is the almost sure recipe for a VC to listen to you.
Okay. Alright.
Kalau setakat you buat business biasa, you minta duit, a VC will say, okay, next.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
No, we won't even think about it. We tell them, why don't you go get a job?
Yeah, actually.
They dry cut.
But having said that, I'm curious kan, how many people actually approach you guys to ask for funding?
Kalau you cakap pasal Cradle ni banyak lah, because Cradle ni very government driven.
Yeah.
So they have programs and people approach Cradle based on the programs that Cradle has. Tapi kalau you nak free daripada programs where lambat orang approach, you can always find a VC in Malaysia or in Singapore and pitch to them your ideas. Tak kisah. You first pitch, people say no to you. Sampai 10 kali you pitch different VC, don't cakap no. You learn. Every time you pitch, they say no, you know why.
Yeah.
Jangan marah bila kata go get a job. You ask them. You stand there, you ask them, why should I get a job? Why am I not good enough for this money? Then we will explain to you why. You know, betul-betul you are dead set on becoming an entrepreneur. Jangan depend so much on government punya agencies. Look at resources. There's angel networks and bank at Malaysia that invest in smaller businesses, smaller ideas, simpler ideas. There's grants, as I said, there's VCs, and also there's PEs. PEs ni bukan budak-budak punya lah. PEs would be like a big conglomerate yang ada financial issue and wants to actually turn around. Then they go to private equity investors.
Okay.
So understand the source of money well before you go out.
So
look for it.
Do your research on the VCs that you're going into or searching asking for funds from.
VCs, grants, loans and all that. Yeah. And understand the instruments that VCs kasih juga. Jangan come without knowledge,
Yeah, okay. Just because you have passion, that doesn't actually propel you to do. Okay. Back to the university student leavers and stuff like that. They have right now everything is tech, technology. So if they come up with an idea, like you said just now, kata apa, something that change the world, change the environment, can they, for an example, I don't know, katakanlah, like you say, like it's a seed place, baru starting. I have this thing. I like you say, I'm falling in love with it. But I don't know how to get it done. Do a paper. It's not easy to do a white paper. Not everyone knows how to do a white paper.
So kalau nak pergi grant,
yeah.
Yes, it's like a research paper.
Grant you don't have to pay back. I mean, everybody knows that.
So you can buat macam pretty much like a research paper. Tapi when you're going for a normal seed venture, seed funding or angel funding, it can be actually it has to be a simple paper that makes people believe lah. Not so much a white paper. You don't give a white paper to a VC like me. I wouldn't want to read it.
Right.
Because I don't play grants.
Yeah.
So my ability to evaluate a candidate for grants may not be as good because at the end of the day, I look for business exit because I'm a pure VC play. Tapi a grant person would see how the technology or the concept go into a full-blown, product, market or services. Yeah.
Interesting. Case study, okay? Just out of curiosity, macam things like startups. WeWork, for example, they started out really, really good. In every country ada kan. Then after a while, you hear that they're losing money. Okay, especially towards the end of 2019, because that's when COVID started happening, right? My question is, I don't know whether they have VC funding or not, but my question is, you have a CEO or a person that has passion in it, and yet it just doesn't work. How does that, kalau I don't know, how, to me it's like macam I have the passion for it, but yeah, I don't know how to run the company. I run it down. Kan?
So okay, let's talk about unicorn, global unicorn, right?
Okay.
Let's first take global unicorn and closer to our time now, not like a Google and all that. Let's take Uber. Uber was a unicorn, but Uber was pretty much running flat way before COVID-19.
Oh yes.
Because of the maturity of the person who helmed yang lead the organization. The person had a lot of issue with the board. You see, as a VC, basically it's lain macam board lah. Kalau you tengok CEO, you has a lot of attitude issues and a lot of ideas that I don't need anybody else's idea. I'm only gonna do. So you ended up like, a lot of issues with the business itself. People kat bawah tu suffer because your leader is not strong. So Uber pretty much ran flat because of leadership issue. Then you compare dengan Airbnb, and then you compare dengan WeWork that you brought. So this, when they started, semua orang bangga say that, okay, where can you get, a guy who has no asset but their valuation is in the tune of $3 billion US dollars.
Yeah.
But then they just fall flat because of
management.
Differentiation between Uber and Airbnb WeWork is that it's Uber, it's leadership. This is my personal opinion, of course.
Okay.
That's why the board made it right. Remove the leader and then put a pure business manager. But WeWork, Airbnb, it's because of the economic challenges that came without anybody in the world being ready. So there's nothing to do with leadership as much.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of criticism about WeWork, right?
Yep.
Going around the world, snapping up buildings,
Yep.
turning it into WeWork and all that, not understanding the market needs of each market. Betul, WeWork has a hybrid of really good business model and a gung-ho trying to build up the valuation of WeWork, and perhaps some of the founders would go out becoming a super billionaire. Maybe that was the intention, we don't know that. So, but tapi dia get hit sebenarnya bukan pasal tu. They get hit because of COVID-19. Now, not only them, anybody in Malaysia pun ada banyak kan all this co-working space and all that. They are suffering. It has nothing to do with leadership. It is pure economic punya issue. And kalau board ke siapa-siapa kata, how do we know you're going to survive in the next 10 years? The answer is simple. Tak boleh 10 years. 5 years pun tak boleh, 3 years pun tak boleh. Right now, businesses must be very, very flexible.
Right.
Must have the ability to survive physical and virtual.
Okay.
So ini dah jadi basic principle, basic premise of creating a business. If serious lah, bukanlah business macam jual barang kat satu lain. I'm talking about real business.
Okay.
You must have a physical and virtual. Kalau you pure virtual, boleh juga. That would be the tune of Alibaba, where you purely aggregate other people's thing. But your business model must be so special that you can beat Alibaba. You can beat Shopee because they've already started that, right?
Kan, yeah.
Yeah, so that flexibility kena ada. So sekarang VC like me will look at, kalau virtual pun down, how do you survive? Kalau physical down, virtual down, how do you survive? Anybody has a solution for that would be where my money goes to right now. So that's pretty much the long and short of what actually happened in the world. It's quite confusing for students, I think.
Yeah.
Unless they play in the market themselves. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I guess we're talking about a bit kind of like terlupa pasal the students, right?
Yeah. But it's relevant to them. As
It is.
create their first concept, their first design, their first ideas. Everything that happens in the world must be everything that they absorb into the business model. At least they try to sustain.
But
when things happen.
Yeah, that's just the thing. Even a current company that's running or incumbent company that's running right now, it's very difficult to sustain because brick and mortar is going out.
Yes.
Like you say, it's all now virtual, cloud, and digitalized. So, it's for example, katakanlah, I come to you and say, Faiz, I need funding for Voices. All right, but I've been I think let's just say masa tu I baru start. All right, Voices is about a year and a half already. So katalah masa I just start, I say okay, I need this. What do I do at first? I mean, firstly, what do I do? Do I write a paper? Do I tell you, okay, this is what I'm going to do? I kind of macam make you look enthusiastic and passionate about it, because we are passionate about radio anyway. So a lot of people,
So it's the answer is standard for a VC, right? Honestly speaking, we are blind to what is it. It can be a radio, it can be a business, it can be a technology.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It depends on the business objective of that VC, right?
Right.
So if you have a concept that fits our investment criteria, we will look at it. So how would you come? Even at the seed level, when you come to pitch, right, for funding, you must have the business concept ready. So what's in a business concept? First is about the product. What is it that you're selling? Second is about the market. Why would people buy you or look at you compared to the competitors? Then third is about the competitors. Fourth is about, the P&L. You still have to talk about P&L. Or else I give you money, 1 million, you wouldn't know what to do, right?
Yes.
So anyways, at seed level, we don't give that much of money. 1 million, it's a lot lower than that. So the business model, you must understand let's say you reach a VC, you choose ada A, B, C, D punya VC, you choose VCC. You kena faham VCC tu kasih what kind of size
Okay, faham.
and what level of business. Katakan if fit your level, then what kind of size. You cannot go to a VC that gives 500,000 and below punya funding asking for 1 million punya funding. Then you always know VC will never give you a 500,000 punya funding kalau dia punya threshold is 500, so you're going to get a lot less than that. They're going to be testing, and then your P&L must be good. And the fifth one is the team behind you. If you have no team, you have to explain why. How would you survive without a team?
Right.
If you have a team, you need to give the that surety. You have to convince us this team works. Kita tak boleh 4 orang, satu maju, 3 belah. Tak boleh. It has to be why this team works.
But that happens, kan?
So that's why I always call VCs as vultures.
Yeah.
They makan isi. We can smell failure even before you walk into the door.
Okay.
If you try to get an appointment, you don't get instead. You can smell that it's not working out. But don't give up. Maybe we smell it doesn't work out for this kind of funding objective. Mungkin orang lain ada. Atau you keep improving your business model. And business model is not about cita-cita. Business model is about reality. Cita-cita is at the concept level.
Okay, so yeah, but
produk dah ada, jual kat siapa, kenapa orang tu nak beli? Where would they, example radio, where would they listen to you when they actually can switch on where they on the move? Things like that, you gotta be able
to answer.
To stand up to answer,
But that's difficult because here we are passionate about something, and then when we are posed with that kind of question, we're stumped. Macam mana nak jawab, kan? Yeah, I understand the fact because so the way you're explaining it reminds me so much like macam Shark Tank.
Yeah, Shark Tank is a reality of VC life put in a TV program. Shark Tank tu dramatization of bila dia marah orang. VCs, we don't marah. We just we tell them thank you. See you.
Inilah. Okay. At first, katakanlah I want to go look for funding via Cradle Fund. So I go to your website, and there is you got everything is there that you can be pay forms and everything is.
Like Cradle, as I said, their funding is based on programs that they have. Go into the website of Cradle, look at the programs that they're going to launch. Look at how understand the eligibility for you to go into it, and then and do the necessary things.
Okay, but I've seen other VC in your sites, kan? Because
Cradle is not VC, by the way. Cradle is an investment arm that provides grant.
Yeah. Okay. Faham?
They used to have Cradle Seed Ventures, which was an equity play. So I think, depending on the rationalization of funding institutions in the country, then the equity play, will sit on the most, the suitable agency in the country.
Okay. Tapi kadang-kadang macam I do realise when I do my research on websites like this, nothing that says content for radio, content for TV and movies ada. So it's to me it's I'm getting a bit personal right now on voices.
Actually, you don't have to wait until they outline specifics. The best VCs are the VCs that gives a generic investment objective.
Yeah. That's the one because
then it's easier. These are the investors that is more open-minded.
So that's an option for all the students that's coming out right now. So because when you're fresh out of uni, you have ideas. Some of them are not even being implemented right now. So I guess those are the type of VCs that they should be looking at lah, or even Cradle kan.
Yes.
All right, we're down to our few last minutes. You got anything to say?
Ah,
Advice cover benda. I know we've talked a lot. We jumped from here and there.
no, it's okay.
Mm.
I guess I'm not. I can as this is virtual. I can't see the faces of the people that I'm
Yeah.
talking to. I used to talk on stage. The
Mm.
people I can see, the people I can see their reactions, whether they get it or they don't get it. Whether what I'm saying is relevant to them. So the downside of virtual world is I can't see that. But based on the subject matter that was actually proposed to me, I hope I have successfully instilled or infused the needed knowledge of for students, for people who graduates when they want to step into the world of entrepreneurship. At least they know there are choices out there. At least they know that the world is as big as what they imagine. If you have an extremely good concept that truly you test it yourself against all the business models in the world or all the technology in the world, then Malaysia is not the only place for you to get source of funding. There are many sources of funding internationally that is open to the
Oh,
world
okay.
for anybody who has that idea that can potentially be a unicorn to actually seek funding. But
Mm.
the rule is still the same. The things that I said just now, for you to be ready, you have to be ready with it.
Mm. Okay. Right.
All right?
Yeah. It sounds tough though.
No, it's actually because of the world has changed. Everything is easier now because you're not stuck to a territorial limitations.
Mm.
The world is at your
Yeah,
at your
but that's just the
stage.
thing. Kadang-kadang we are inundated with banyak sangat information that we don't know macam mana nak sieve through kan. So
Mm,
yeah, I
mm.
know. But that's another webinar to talk about, not here.
Sure.
Kan, but that's just thing. Anyway, thank you very much for being with us, Faiz.
Most welcome.
I really appreciate this. Okay, anyway, we hope you enjoyed today's special series. Remember to register to get your free invite for the next PAC. Just go to myref.org.my or Voices Malaysia, okay? And to get the full Voices Malaysia experience, do download Voices Malaysia app on iOS or Play Store. Search for Voices MY. Till we see you next, remember to always sanitize your hands, use masks whenever you're out and about, and maintain the required social distance. Stay safe. Chop. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane. All right. Bye.